Welcome, guys, to your Friday, January 3rd. It is 2020, and one of the things that I want to do today is I actually want to look back. I saw a great blog post by Fred Wilson from AVC. Great blog, a blog that I'm often quoting and linking to in my daily newsletter, The Daily Hunt. But he wrote a great blog, and I want to go through it. He talked about what has happened. What has transpired in the last decade? Now, I know I'm spending a lot of time doing some retrospecting early in this year, but it's one of those special times. It's one of those special times. Let's drop this here for a second. It's just one of those special times because this is a new decade. It's a new 10 years. At least, for me, I read a poll that said something like 63% of Americans think the decade starts, this year. But apparently, the new decade starts in 2021 or something like that. Anyway, doesn't matter to me. Not a big deal. But what I want to do today is I want to talk about what happened in the 2010s all the way up to 2019 from this post from Fred Wilson. Also want to go over venture deals because you guys know we always want to know where the money is going and where the money is flowing. As well as I'm providing a lot, I think I'm providing a lot of value. You guys saw yesterday that I launched on vchunting.com. I launched the top 50 plus podcast that you should listen to as a venture capitalist, entrepreneur, or founder, or self-learner, self-educator. You should definitely get in on that. If you didn't see that yesterday, make sure you check out VC Hunting, the top 50. That's right, the top 50 plus podcasts that you should watch. Now, what's really cool is that we are leading the charge in the venture media world. This is the number one fastest growing. You got it, guys. We'll do that. Yeah. We are guys. We are the fastest growing, the number one fastest growing daily show in the venture media world for venture capitalists, founders, and entrepreneurs. Super excited about that. That's a huge win. And frankly, we're actually one of the only ones, pretty much the only ones, doing a daily show on video as well, not audio only. So make sure that you check that out. What I'm going to be giving you guys today is the top 50 plus newsletters. That's right, the top 50 plus newsletters that you guys should be reading in 2020. So if you want to get super educated, you want to be in the know of what's going on in venture capital, venture media, resources for founders, entrepreneurs, for agile folks, guys, I put it together. So I hope you will enjoy it. Let's get into this article. I'm really excited about it. Again, this is from AVC, Fred Wilson. What happened in the 2010s? He said, my friend Steve Kane suggested I take a longer view in my pair of year-end posts this year. What, no decade-end, decade-ahead posts? And so I will. Here are the big things that happened in tech, startups, business, and more in the decade that is ending today in no particular order of importance. Now, Fred Wilson has always written some great end-of-year posts. I'm definitely going to be reading his post today on what happened in the 2010s, and I'm most likely going to be reading next week his next post on what he thinks is going to be happening from 2020 to 2030. It'll be really interesting. So let me know in the comments below on any of these, your opinions, whether he's on the money or not. And obviously, I'll give my color commentary towards this. This is really good stuff. Number one, he says the emergence of the big four, the web mobile monopolies, Apple, Google, Amazon, and Facebook. A decade ago, Google dominated search. Apple had a mega hit on their hand with the iPhone, and Amazon was way ahead of everyone in e-commerce. And Facebook was emerging as the dominant social media platform. Today, these four companies own monopolies or duopolies in their core markets and are using the power of those market positions to extend their reach into tangential markets and beyond. Google continues to own a monopoly position in search in many parts of the world and has a duopoly position in mobile operating systems and controls a number of other market-leading assets, email, video, etc. Apple owns the other duopoly position in mobile operating systems. Amazon has amassed a dominant position in e-commerce in many parts of the world that has used that position to extend its reach into private label products, logistics, and cloud infrastructure. Facebook built and acquired its way into owning 4 of the most strategic social media properties in the world: Facebook, Instagram, Messenger, and WhatsApp. Most importantly, outside of China, these 4 companies own more data about what we do online and also control many of the important channels to reach us in the digital world. What society does about this situation stands as the most important issues in tech at the start of the 2020s. I will say, in response to number 1, immediately, it's pretty obvious that these tech monopolies, these tech duopolies, your Apples, your FANGs, right? Your Apples, your Facebook, your Googles, they own us. The Borg is here, guys. The Borg is here. They own us. And here's the one thing that we could have never expected, because as time goes on and as time continues to move slowly, the technological creep that happens with these big companies is amazing over the long term. No one would have guessed that these FANG companies, your Facebook, Apple, Google, etc., your Amazons, would have encroached so much into our personal lives every day. It's amazing that they've taken over so much of our lives, and we could have never have accounted for it. We could have never had looked into the future, finger in the air, looking in the future and saying, yeah, totally. Facebook owning all my data, Amazon pretty much drop shipping everything to me every day whenever I need, Apple completely taking over my operating systems of choice, right? I'm running on an Apple machine here, I got my iPhone here. We never would have thought. And so makes you wonder what's going to happen in the next 10 years and what type of encroachment on our liberties, on our privacy, on our data is going to happen in the next 10 years. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Number 2, the massive experiment in using capital as a moat to build startups into sustainable businesses has now played out, and we can call it a failure for the most part. Wow. Nope. A failure. Uber popularized this strategy and got very far with it, but sitting here at the end of the 2010s, Uber has not yet proven that it can build a profitable business, is struggling as a public company, and will need something more than capital to sustain its business. WeWork was a fast follower with this strategy and failed to get the public markets and is undergoing a massive restructuring that would determine the fate of that business. Many other experiments with this model have failed or are failing right now. When I look back at the 2010s, I see a decade during which the massive capital flowed into startups, and much of it was wasted chasing the capital as a moat model. Guys, this is why I'm here. This is why I'm here, guys. Because I too, just like Fred Wilson from AVC in this article, I too have seen the massive amounts of capital, especially being in the cryptocurrency space, but the massive amounts of capital that have flowed into startups in the last decade. It's amazing how much money has gone into these systems. And what have we gotten for it? What have we gotten for it? We have gotten a graveyard of startups that could have been, of ideas that should have been, of founders that could have been, life-changing technology that should be here but isn't, because money flowed in to these companies, money flowed into these startups, but a lot of the core founders, maturity of the founders, the operations, learning how to scale, learning how to grow a business, a lot of these things were never taken care of, especially by venture capitalists. And this is one of the reasons why I'm here, because venture capital is broken. Over the last decade that I've been in venture capital, being a founder, entrepreneur, receiving capital, going through the series rounds, working with venture capitalists, it's been so broken in so many ways. And I blame, if I can say this, I blame the venture capitalists. Because they should know better. They should know how to provide more value. They should know how to coach, mentor, help startups, founders build their first companies to profitability, and not just give them money and a hope and a prayer that they're going to work things out. We need to level up the venture capital world. That's why I'm here. I'm here to help venture capitalists and in turn help founders and entrepreneurs grow big time. Guys, throwing money at things is no longer working, okay? There needs to be more coaching, mentorship, support. Number 3, machine learning finally came of age in the 2010s and is now table stakes for every tech company, large and small. Accumulating a data asset around your product and service and using sophisticated machine learning models to personalize and improve your product is not a nice to have, it's a must have. This ultimately benefits the 3 large cloud providers, Amazon, Google, and Microsoft, who are providing much of the infrastructure to the tech industry to do this work at scale, which is how you must do it if you want to be competitive. I would completely agree. When it comes to machine learning, we used a ton of machine learning in our last startup, our last project, and frankly, you want that. Why? Because in every startup, you are creating or garnering or acquiring massive amounts of data. That data is useful. We live in a business intelligence world now, my friends. Number 4, subscriptions became the second scaled business model for web and mobile businesses following advertising, which emerged at scale in the previous decade. So basically saying advertising has reached its peak. Everyone understands advertising, but subscription models, big deal. I'll tell you, in the last project, we learned a lot about subscription models. And one of the things that I'm excited about doing in my next project here, hopefully with you guys, is to create a subscription model that actually provides value. Startups have developed skills to execute a subscription business model with positive end unit economics, delivered fantastic returns to investors, and capital flowed into this sector as a result. We also saw the rise of Patreon in the last decade, if you guys know. Right, one of the best subscription systems for content producers out there. This was a very positive development as subscriptions better align the interests of the users and the developers of mobile and web applications and avoid many of the negative aspects of the free ad-supported business model. However, as we end the decade, a subscription overload backlash is emerging as many consumers have signed up for more subscriptions than they need and in some cases can afford. So, if you're looking to get into subscriptions this year, choose wisely, guys. Number 5, Silicon Valley's position as a mecca for tech and startups started to show signs of weakening in the 2010s, largely because of its massive successes this decade. It is incredibly expensive to live and work in the Bay Area, and the quality and life cost of the life equation is not moving in the right direction. The physical infrastructure, transit, housing, etc., has not kept up with the needs of the region, and there is no sign that it will change anytime soon. This does not mean that Silicon Valley is over, but it does mean that other tech sectors will find an easier time recruiting talent to the regions and away from Silicon Valley, and talent is really the only thing that matters these days. I second that. Big cha-ching, big yay, big wassa 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 wassa. 100%. My views, and I'll tell you, as an operator, my views when it comes to telecommuting, to distributed teams, to non-co-located teams has changed dramatically over the last decade. I used to be fanatical, and I don't mind it because, my opinions change. You learn things, especially as an operator, as you build companies, and you learn what theories really can hold water. Excuse me, you learn which ideas are really actually just theories and which ideas are actually good. And one of the things that I've learned over the last decade is that when it comes to remote teams, especially remote scrum teams or remote agile teams, totally doable. Totally doable. We do not live in a world where physical presence equates to 100% of the time better product. Now, I will say, if you're working with an immature team, a software development team, you probably want to have as much face time, as much engagement time, alignment time as possible, because you're learning about each other, you're learning about how to work with each other, you're learning how to communicate effectively, deal with dissonance, deal with conflict, these types of things. But mature teams, mature individuals, mature adults can grow and can build excellent software, and they don't have to be co-located. And so we now live in a world where Silicon Valley and places like Silicon Valley don't have the mass stranglehold on talent. Talent is everywhere, my friends. And in my last startup, we had talent in San Francisco, we had talent in Washington, in North Carolina, in New York, Georgia, Ukraine, Korea, Japan. Yeah, we had people all over the world, guys, building our product, and it worked because we're mature. We build relationships. We're a principle and value focused company. You know what? Silicon Valley. I can see in the next decade Silicon Valley not being the shiny turd that it. Well, there's so much turds. There's so much poop on the streets anyway. Number 6, cryptography. Cryptocurrency emerged in the 2010s as the powerful technology that can solve some of the web and mobile's most vexing issues. Cryptography and encryption have been around for a very long time, well before the computer. Modern computer cryptography came of age in the 1970s, but the emergence of the internet, web, and mobile computing largely did not integrate many of the central ideas of cryptography natively into the protocols, and these platforms were built on. The emergence of that busy Bitcoin, cha-ching, and decentralized money this decade has shown the way and set the stage for cryptography to be built natively into web and mobile applications and deliver control back to the users. Absolutely. Credit to Munib Ali for framing this issue for me in a way that makes a lot of sense. I could have done that as well, Fred. You can always reference me, and you can always hit me up and let me know if you need any help when it comes to the cryptocurrency space. 100%. In the last decade, cryptocurrency that came around in the 2008-2009 period and began to grow in 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, all the way up to 17, 18, 19, and now we're at 2020, guys. Cryptocurrency is here to stay. Cryptocurrency is here to stay. And the question really is why isn't your portfolio at least 3 to 5%, maybe even up to 7%? Why is your portfolio not diversified in crypto? That is the question of today. Let me know your thoughts in the comment below. Number 7, the technology inserted itself right in the middle of society this decade. Our president wakes up and fires off dozens of tweets. Probably one of the best things about President Trump right now is that he just tweets incessantly. Possibly while still in bed, while we are all hostage to our phones and the services that we rely on. Our elections are conducted using machine learning technology to segment and micro-target important voting groups. And bad actors can and do use the same technologies to interfere in our elections and our public discourse. There is no putting the genie back in the bottle in this regard, but the fact is that the tech sector has such a powerful role means that it will be highly regulated by society, and there is no putting that genie back in the bottle in that regard either. Meaning, long story short, technology is becoming a bigger and more, I'll just say this, technology is not even a bigger. Technology is part and parcel of life now. Like, I have kids. You guys know. I have kids. These kids are not going to know a day and not going to know a time in which mobile technology was not around. They have access to the entire world. When you and I had to be going to the daggone library and going to the card catalog to figure out what do we need to do and get those microfiche scans, whatever. I don't even remember, guys. All I remember is I had to do a lot of manual work back in the day, especially when I was learning coding. Like learning coding back in the day, holy smokes. You don't even have to know code anymore. There's a whole thing about no code, right? Just WYSIWYGs. I'll tell you, the youth of the nation, guys, they have it so much easier than we did, don't we? Now, let me know in the comments below one thing where it's so easy now for the younger generation, whereas you and I had to work our asses off for it. Let me know in the comments below. We'll do a shout out to the best comment, the snarkiest comment. Number 8, the rich got richer this decade. Axios wrote in a recent email that the rich in already rich countries, plus an increasing number of super rich in the developing world, captured an astounding 27% of global growth. But the very poor also had a great decade. As Axios had reported, the rate of extreme poverty around the world was cut in half over the last decade, 15.7% in 2010 to 7.7% now, and all but eradicated in chickadee China. The losers in 2010 were lower middle class and middle class people in the developed world whose income stagnated or fell. Technology played a major role in all of this. Many of the super rich obtained their wealth through technology business interests. That makes sense. Technology is where the money's at, guys. Some of the eradication of extreme poverty is a result of technology as well, and the stagnation of earning power in the lower and middle class is absolutely a result of technology automation, a trend that will only accelerate in coming years. I find it fascinating, guys. I find it absolutely fascinating when people say, and I completely ignore these people in most cases, but when people say that the world is worse off, or anything to the theme of that today is worse than yesterday, or anything like that. Complete hooey. Complete beat connect, guys. Complete nonsense. Nope. And nope. We live in a better world today than yesterday. Yes. The super rich are getting even super richer. You're gonna be mad that Jeff Bezos is getting even more monies for delivering your food, your groceries, your things to your door? Why are you gonna be mad? Like, I find this so fascinating when people look at the super rich and be like, boo on you, when it's because the super rich are creating technologies and services and products that you love, guys. Don't ever let anybody negative around you, no bad juju. You guys know I'm all about no bad juju. But don't let anyone around you ever put down how progress is being made in the world overall. It's always good. It's always towards the good, guys. Always towards the good. Number 9, in a post-published edition, a huge miss in my original post is the emergence of China as a tech superpower and a global superpower. There are many areas, digital money, for example, where China is light years ahead of the Western world in technology and will likely accelerate in the coming years. Being a tech superpower is a necessary condition to being a global superpower, and chickadee China is already that and getting more powerful by the day. I will end there, and these are the big mega trends that I think about when I think about the 2010s. There's no doubt that I left out many important ones. You can add them in the comments or email them to me, guys, and let me know. So, guys, that right there is Fred Wilson from AVC. His thoughts, his retrospective on 2010 in my color commentary as well. On his last section here, when it comes to China, I'll tell you, I've been there. I've visited. I know. They're growing bigly, guys. And to be 100% transparent, a big portion, millions of dollars to be exact, were received by me. From Chinese investors from my last project. So we actually received more Chinese and Asian money for our last project than American money, if you want to put it that way. And so is there a lot of money that's coming out of China that wants to be deployed into technology startups that will change the world, especially cryptocurrency projects and big tech in projects? Yes, 100%. 100%. It's going to be really interesting in the next decade to see how chickadee China blows up. Maybe in a good way, maybe in a bad way. Let me know your comments, guys, about 2010 plus in the last decade. So much has happened, guys. So much has happened. True startup story, guys. You got it. Your company just got seed round financed. Congratulations. You're going to the moon. But now you have to scale. You found great talent out in California, New York, Georgia, and even Eastern Europe. So what communications platform will you be using to ensure your international team is always aligned? Well, the answer is easy. Slack.com for Teams. We've used Slack for all of our previous startups, and they've supported us in tremendous ways. And we want to give them a thanks today for supporting vchunting.com. Did you also know that Slack is a great tool for personal use? Yeah, I use my own personal Slack channel to drop in documents, notes, to-dos, and follow-ups to ensure that my workflow throughout the day is right on course. I promise you, if you try out slack.com for personal use, you'll end up using it for your team as well. Go to slack.com to check it out. Welcome back, guys, to Venture Daily, the #1 fastest growing daily show in venture media. Make sure that you check us out at VC Hunting on all applicable social engagement, social media platforms. Also, make sure to check out, and you can find that in the links below, guys, our daily email, all the news that you can use. And let's move into venture deals for January 3rd, 2020, guys. We are here. You've made it, and you're here. It's venture deals for January 3rd. We want to know where the money is going and where the money is flowing. Automation Anywhere, a San Francisco-based provider of robotic process automation solutions, raised $290 million in Series B funding. Cha-ching. Salesforce Ventures led the round. Celonis, a Munich-based startup that tracks data produced by a company's software, raised $290 million in Series C funding in the post-valuation of $2.5 billion. Bow, 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 bow. Nice money, guys. Big money. Ganapsys, a Redwood City, California-based provider of electric sequencing technology, raised $90 million in funding. Foresight Capital led the round. Rightway Healthcare, a New York-based patient navigation and healthcare advocacy platform for employers and their employees, raised $20 million in Series B funding. Thrive Capital led the round. Banyan Security, a San Francisco-based provider of zero trust network access for cloud and hybrid environments, raised $17 million in funding. Shasta Ventures led the round. For a second, guys, I thought that Banyan Security was going to be a security company to ensure that all of your cars in San Francisco aren't broken into. I know. I have family that lives out there and friends that live out there, and they're always complaining about their cars being broken into by homeless people. Yeah, I don't know. Like living there, guys. It's one of those things. It's one of those things I don't fully, and I don't know if I'll ever fully understand. Let me know in the comments below if you have an idea as to why that's true. Nine's, a Palo Alto, California-based teleradiology practice, raised $16.5 million in Series A funding. Investors include Accel, 8VC, Lori Gohler, Kim Hammonds, and Mark Leslie. Plantix, a Germany-based platform that drives efficient agricultural production, raised $6.6 million in Series A funding. RTP Global led the round. Searchlight, a software platform that gathers and analyzes reference data to help companies hire diverse teams, raised $2.5 million in seed funding. Investors included Accel. Searchlight, a software platform that gathers and analyzes reference data, hire diverse teams. Now, you guys have probably heard about the whole diversity focus of Silicon Valley and making sure that everything's diverse, which I don't know if it's a great strategic. It's not a strategic initiative that I think people should focus on. I think being cognizant to hire people that are diverse is important, but having it be a strategy, I don't know if having it be a strategy actually makes things better. I think it should be part of your decision matrix when you're hiring. However, it's a big thing in Silicon Valley. Clearly, a lot of people care about diversity, so I'm not going to knock it. I just don't get it. And so maybe this idea, Searchlight.ai, is a way to focus on only hiring people of color or people that are basically not white men. Like I said, I don't really get it. But you know what? There's a market for everything, guys. Groundbreaker, a Chicago-based developer of real estate investment software, raised $2 million in funding. Andrew Blum led the round. Shotgun Seltzer, an Austin-based craft spiked seltzer maker, raised $1 million in funding. I'm going to check this out, Shotgun Seltzer. Unorthodox Ventures led the round. This is what I love about venture deals is because you can find out where the money is going to, and sometimes it goes to really cool ideas like shotgun seltzer. I am month 111, day 11, and day 1980. That's just how we do, guys. That's how I do. Don't hate on me. Don't hate on me because I just cheat the system. Waiting for shotgun seltzer. Interesting. Indeed, inspired by classic cocktails, Shotgun Spiked Seltzer delivers a craft quality and crisp taste that's completely unique. Our first featured flavor, Bramble, comes at a light 5.2, making it perfect for all-day sipping. You know what? This is legit, guys. This is legit. Next time I hang out in Austin, which you might say, well, Peter, when are you going to be hanging out in Austin? Bruh. My family lives in Austin. I love Austin. If I wasn't living in Atlanta, I'd be living in Austin. But next time I'm out in Austin, guys, I'm going to be checking out myself some shotgun seltzer. Bow, 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 bow. Briegel Sagemount made an investment in SurePrep, a provider of tax automation software and software-powered services to the professional tax return preparation market, which is a big market. King Tester Corporation, a portfolio company of Salt Creek Capital, acquired Cianflone Scientific Group, a manufacturer of testing and measurement equipment. GenCap America Inc. will acquire Griffin Gear, a Roebuck, South Carolina-based manufacturer of quality replacement gearing. And last but not least, Levin Lichtman Capital Partners will acquire Milton Industries, a Chicago-based manufacturer of air accessories and equipment. Well, there you guys go. These are your venture deals for January 3rd, 2020. This is where the money is going, and this is where the money is flowing.
Did you know that there's even more value than just audio or video? Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at VC Hunting, and make sure to sign up for the VC Hunting newsletter, where you'll be able to get weekly news on venture capital, startups, founder stories, and the occasional wisdom extracted from Peter's brain. Go to vchunting.com to sign up. And now, back to the episode.
Well, welcome back, guys. Welcome back to Venture Daily. We did it, guys. I'm super excited to announce the top 50 venture capital newsletters for 2020. I published this back in the last day of the year, December 31st, 2019, because I've been working on it for a while, and people have been wondering, people have been asking me, people have been asking me about the best podcasts to listen to. Yesterday, I gave you the top 50 best podcast shows in the venture capital world for venture capitalists and founders and entrepreneurs. And so make sure that you subscribe and check those out. And today, guys, I want to give you more reading into your email box than you could ever imagine. These are the top 50 venture capital newsletters that I've collected and I've subscribed to in the past or are currently subscribed to now. Can a growth in a market be identified as a function of newsletter growth? For the venture capital world, maybe it means saturation. Can there never, ever be enough newsletters covering venture capital, entrepreneurship, and technology? I think not. Here are the best ones for 2020 and beyond. You may ask, what makes these great? I'll give you 3 simple reasons why these are my top 50 plus. Number 1, they speak from the heart. They tell it how they see it. That doesn't make them right, and to be quite frank, guys, I don't agree with a lot of it a lot of the time. It just makes them authentic. That is what's worth reading, is when people are authentic, even if you don't agree with them, because it opens your mind to the way that they think, and could, especially as a founder entrepreneur, could give you great ideas for what you're working on and the problems that you're trying to solve. Number 2, they are relatively consistent. This is a big deal. Creating content consistently is the brand, its value. Read and support those that are willing to spend endless hours writing for you. Guys, I would know. I've been creating content for the web for years now, daily, on a schedule, every day. Stuff is being promoted pushed out to the world. It takes a lot of discipline. That is the brand. People want to be connected to a source in which you are going to constantly give them entertaining education, entertaining, insightful commentary, or something that's just merely fun. They want it. They want it daily. And I'm glad you guys are here with the Daily Show, the Adventure Daily Show with me every day. I try to be consistent. Actually, so far I have been. Number 3, all of the topics intersect technology and investment opportunities at the meta level. You should know where the money is going. Having all this data allows us to make better informed decisions as investors. Or, if as a founder, it's good to know what's going on in the market of money. I'm sure people will ask, quote, do you read all of these? The answer is yes, but at a pace I'm comfortable reading at. They all get filtered into a mailbox that I can read at my leisure. With this many inputs into my system, it would make reading feel like a job if I felt I absolutely needed to be up to date with everything. I don't believe in FOMO, or fear of missing out. I'll get to it when I get to it. But did I miss any? You guys let me know in the comments below on vchunting.com. Let me know if I missed any of your favorite newsletters, and if there is a favorite newsletter, if your newsletter is highlighted in my top 50, then grab the badge. I made the badge right for you guys. Cha-ching. Yay. So I'm going to read through the top 50 plus, guys. We're just going to read through them real quick. Accelerated Afrotech. AI Weekly, All Raise, AVC, which I just read. Axios Login, one of my favorites, guys. Ina Fried does a great job. Benedict Evans, Brianne Kimmel, CB Insights, Crunchbase Daily, Diversity VC, Diversity Tech, Enterprise AI, Feld Thoughts, also very good. Female Founders Alliance, FemStreet, FinTech Today, First Round Review, Founders of the Future, Gary's Guide. Now, Gary's Guide is one of those newsletters that I really only use whenever I'm traveling to New York. Hunter Walk, Inside Venture Capital. Inside Venture Capital is pretty good, but they do repeat a lot of what everyone else is saying. The same thing with Launch Ticker too. But IoT for All, Internet of Things newsletter, Jason Calacanis, John Gannon blog, Kaufman Fellows, Launch Ticker is good, but it repeats a lot of stuff. I do almost read Launch Ticker almost every day though. Lenny's newsletter, Lou Mormon, Momenta Partners. Momenta Partners is interesting. Deep dive stuff. Morning Brew, Next Draft, PitchBook, Prime Unicorn Index, Product Radical Urbanist, for the vegan in you, Sidebar, Singularity Hub, Startup Digest, Strictly VC, TechMean, Tedium, TLDR. TLDR is fun. You can read the top stories really quickly. Daily Hunt, the best. Number 45, Focus, The Daily Hunt. A daily link drop of all the news Peter Saddington reads from his mobile phone. Literally. Like 20 plus articles a day, guys. I send you of stuff that I'm reading. I think it's one of the best daily newsletters out there, if I do say so myself. Smoke weed every day. The Download, The Hustle, The Information, The Interface, The Logic, The Plug, the Quantum Daily, SaaS Playbook, This Week in Mobility, Token Economy, UX Collective, Y Combinator, and Your Story. Those are the top 50 plus venture capital newsletters. But wait, there's more. If you know of any newsletters that I've missed, make sure you find your way over to vchunting.com. Go to this article and let us know what we've missed. Guys, I'm trying to provide even more value, especially if you are a founder, entrepreneur, or venture capitalist. This is my market. I'm trying to provide you guys value from the top 50 newsletters here to the top 50 plus podcasts you should listen to. I'm going to be creating even more content to help venture capitalists up their game, and likewise founders and entrepreneurs to up their game moving into 2020 and beyond. Let me know in a reply or a comment how I can improve and I can serve you guys better. You guys are the best. And I love just being here with you guys and being a part of your day. I'll see you guys next week.